Well, I certainly understand why everybody's talking about that, no doubt. I mean, Yuri is very unconventional, right? And Alex has been the only one to sort of put him out. That having been said, we have a pretty stacked division. Olberg is definitely next. There's no doubt about that. So he's the number one contender. I would like to see Ankalaev versus Yuri. I think it's a match worth having. Two guys near the top of the division for a really long time, while Alex takes on Olberg. And then I'd like to see how that whole thing works itself out. I mean, look, fighting is all styles, guys. Just because A beats B and B beats C, it doesn't mean C can't beat A. That's the reality of it, especially in a sport like MMA. Boxing, it's a little bit more myopic, it's a little bit more controlled and centered and focused. But you get into a sport like MMA, like there's specialists in grappling, there's specialists in striking, and it becomes a totally different beast. So personally, what I would like to see happen is Olberg fight Alex. He's going to get creamed. I don't think Olberg beat Jan, by the way, but in fairness to Olberg, I don't think Alex beat Jan. Jan Blachowicz just has one of those styles that unfortunately is not really crowd pleasing. He's not so different from Ankalaev. He's got a very odd kickboxing style that comes from Europe that traditional guys like Alex might have a hard time with, and that's just the way it is. Doesn't mean he's better than everybody, but it does mean he's darn good, and he's been ripped off a couple times at the top of the division. But after his victory over Adesanya, I'm not surprised they started doing that to him. Like, well, if you want to lay and prey on a guy and steal our money fights from us, we're gonna. They did the same thing to Jake Shields. Fighters that aren't necessarily that exciting, they find ways to marginalize and get rid of. And I understand this is a sport, right? This is about excitement and fans and whatnot, and fans buy tickets, and you've got to sell tickets, and you've got to sell pay-per-views and all that, at least until the Paramount deal comes. So, listen, in the fight game, just like in life, a lot of things are luck. People are talking a lot about Yuri versus Alex right now because they both had phenomenal wins. I mean, Yuri's win against Roundtree was nothing short of phenomenal. Alex's win against Ankalaev was even more phenomenal than that. But that having been said, let them test themselves against other fighters in the division, and there'll always be a time where they can run it back together, providing everybody stays on a winning streak. But yeah, that's the way I see it, youngster. Like and follow for more on the fight game.